Is it really as bad as people say? Well, let's find out. Now, it's no news that Star Wars Acolyte has gotten a lot of controversy over the last couple of weeks, and that's for better or for worse. But episode 5, simply titled Night, was a groundbreaking episode for a lot of different reasons. I'm just gonna say this right now. I'm enjoying the show. There's a couple episodes that have been hit or miss, mainly episode 1 and 3, but I've been loving everything else, especially episode 5. I believe episode 5 is definitely the best episode of this season, and it's really one of the best moments in Star Wars of recent history. But I've been seeing a lot of weird statements of people saying that the show is breaking canon and things like that. Like, guys, come on now. Star Wars has always been about expanding and growing. And I understand having problems with the show, but let's not just make up things. Nothing in the show, at least on a large scale, has broken any type of canon. Maybe some things have broken reason, but canon, not at all. Especially in this episode. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about, oh, the Sith are supposed to be around for a millennia. Well, I have multiple reasons why that's not true. I mean, the Phantom Menace proves that in itself. And as far as we know, Khmer might not even be a Sith, which I'll get into later in this video. But yeah, overall, I don't believe it breaks any canon. But like I said, I really enjoyed this show. So let's go ahead and get into the positives of this episode. Starting with the biggest thing that happened and the main topic of discussing, the choreography and the combat and action. All superb. They said that this is going to be the best action Star Wars has since the Phantom Menace, and I think they delivered. It was pretty great. It reminds me of a little blend of the prequels a little bit. You know, it reminds me a little bit of episode 3 with how some of the combat and action was, but just ramped to a whole different scale. Like the beats of the movements. Gotta give a shout out to the actors themselves and the stunt team behind the scenes. They did an amazing job. Jackie had amazing combat. Then the introduction of the Master or Khmer, pretty obvious plot twist, but I think it was meant to be. I don't think there was any reason for us to not think it was him. There was no red herrings or any other characters we could have even guessed who it could have been. But yeah, his choreography and action was amazing as well, especially since you got to see that the actor himself was doing a lot of the work, especially when the mask came off. With the mask on, I'm not really sure he can really put anybody underneath the role. But during those scenes where he was the focus of the scene, he truly did shine and show how talented he was and dedicated to his role. But outside just the action itself, I believe we kind of expected that there were going to be a lot of Jedi deaths going into this, but just the fact that they were killing off not only just randoms, but named characters as well, like Yor and Jackie especially, really shocked me. I was honestly really surprised on how that was happening. I saw someone on Twitter mention this as the Red Wedding of Star Wars. Now, I wouldn't go that far in calling it that, but in terms of killing off or getting rid of a large chunk of the cast all in one episode in a fairly fun, thrilling, and exciting way, I can definitely see why you say that. Actually, now that I think about it, the only people that are really left with the cast are Osha and Soul. I guess he's a soul survivor. I guess that's what the name implies. But yeah, we'll see what's going to happen in the next episode. I guess you can't forget about May as well. But yeah, Osha, May, and Soul, our last 3 of the people that survived this encounter with the Master. I have a theory that the Master has some tricks up his sleeves. Things aren't going to go the way that everyone expects them to be. But speaking of the Master, I had a theory that began in episode 3 that I'm starting to believe a little bit more with this episode, and that is the Master himself is not a Sith. Now, of course, he's a dark side user, but I believe he's something a little bit different. Kind of like he implied in this episode. He said the Jedi would call him a Sith, but he never called himself one himself, or even given a Darth name. He said he has no name. But another thing I thought was interesting that a lot of people pointed out is that there were 2 moments in this episode where they played Kylo Ren's theme, which leads me to go ahead with my earlier theory from before that this is actually an origin of the Knights of Ren themselves, not the Sith. Now there may be some tie-ins between the Sith of old and the Knights of Ren. I can definitely see that being possible. Maybe the former apprentice of a Sith Master went rogue and started his own sect, and that became the Knights of Ren that we know. But I think it's really cool that not only does the Master look have a similar look and feel to some of the knights, but also has that sort of stylish flavor and wild combat and unpredictability to them. I think, and of course, to top it all off, playing Kylo Ren's theme does add some question as why he would do so. With Star Wars, music has always been intentional, and I believe it's not just a coincidence that some of the similar beats to Kylo Ren's theme were played during this episode. But overall, what's next? We have 3 episodes left of this season. Like I said, the show has had a lot of controversy. To be honest, these next 3 episodes can be the greatest thing ever, and I doubt that's going to go away. And that's okay. I mean, people have their opinions. I think as long as your opinions are valid and true to you, then that's acceptable. The only thing I would wish is that people didn't, hate watch shows or purposely spread false or weird misinformation or just single out certain clips to make it seem like the entire show is bad. And really, that's just a small segment of what's been a pretty okay and great show, in my opinion. But overall, I want to see how this show is going to go out for these next couple of episodes. I think there's going to be a lot of revelations dealing with the fire that happened between May and Osha's family, and also the secret that Soul is hiding. I think the Master has a plan that's still going into fruition, and I'm ready to see what's going to happen. So go ahead, comment down below. How do you feel about the Acolyte? Please don't be toxic. If you dislike it, please let me know. I would like to see why, and I can respect your opinion. The show, like I said, is a good show. It's not great, it's not amazing, it's good. I wish it was more than that, but we'll have to see how the rest of it goes. So like I said, comment down below if you enjoy the show or not, and also, what do you look forward to more in Star Wars? Is it comics, gaming, media? Who knows? Let's see how the rest of this year goes.